Doing a backflip flat sounds scary because it truly is at first. But when you realize it and come to think about it, it's not as hard as many people make it out to be. It's not hard, and it's a lot easier than doing a simple front flip. Doing a backflip flat or on trampoline, it's scary because you're going over your head, going upside down, and you have this fear of breaking your neck. But in this video, I will teach you guys, give you tricks and tips to how to do a backflip flat, a very simple one at that. If you guys do like this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'm always okay with teaching you guys more flips other than just a backflip. But right now, I'm going to teach you a simple backflip, either on trampoline or on flat ground. This video is for you, and it will teach you, and you can use the same tips as I teach you on flat, even on trampoline, if you are scared of doing it on ground, or even in general. So for step one for learning a backflip flat, you want to be able to have this comfortable height of jumping in order to land the backflip. Okay, and on trampoline, this is gonna help you because it's on trampoline, you can go as high as you can. So this is why I say if you want to do on flat, you must be able to do on trampoline really easily. Number two is having the padding and also the commitment to wanting to do one. As you see in a lot of backflip fails, you see people stopping in midair, and that's what I do not want people to do. If you stop midair, you're gonna break your neck. And I know it sounds scary, but you must have the commitment, but also the practice, and that's really it. With everything, you must be able to practice, and it always comes with practice. If you want to learn how to play like basketball or soccer, you practice that sport every day. And the same goes with flipping. And number two, if you guys have any padding at all, I would like you, and I advise for you to get padding like a crash mat or maybe blankets or pillows or anything like that, or you could just do it plain on flat ground like I did, which was stupid of me because, yeah, I'm grateful to be here, okay? That's all I can say. But I advise you to get padding if you are learning one on flat ground, or anything you can get your hands on that could be easy for you to land on and not hurt. So with those 3 steps out of the way, let's just get back in my backyard and I'll teach you guys how to do a backflip. For step 1, in order to learn a backflip, this trick is called the mukaku. In order to do the mukaku, you gotta figure out which side of your shoulder you are more comfortable flipping over. If it's your left shoulder, you use your left hand. If it's your right shoulder, you use your right hand. And when you do it, you gotta place your hand in a certain way. Your hand has to be faced the opposite way you're facing. The reason for that is so you can make a full rotation over your shoulder properly and successfully without hurting or anything. As you can look at my hand placement, that's how you want to do. Your hand needs to be facing away from your back, your fingers anyways. Once you have done the mukaku as many times as you can, there is no rush for you. Do the mukaku as many times as possible, as many times as you feel comfortable, because if you continue doing this is supposed to get you used to going over your shoulder, and then you'll start getting used to that, and then you'll start being able to jump, and then being able to do a back handspring, and getting used to going over your head, and straighten yourself out. All this will take time and practice, and there's no rush for you, and you're not being timed, so do not worry. But the next step is when you're doing the mukaku, you're not putting your hand on the ground, but what you're doing is you are putting your hand hovering the ground so it's in the air, and you are slowly jumping now. You're jumping into it. So instead of you putting your hand placed on the ground, you're jumping into the mukaku. You can see my hand isn't on the grass. It's not placed on the grass as you saw in the mukaku. It's instead setting up into the same position as it was into the mukaku, but instead I am jumping into it. Instead of me setting myself up, being stable and keeping my hand on the ground, I am jumping into the whole entire flip. And this is where you're going to need padding, simply because it could hurt your wrists. It could also hurt your ankles depending on how you land. But if you do it properly, everything will be okay. You'll be successful. Just continue watching this over and over again if you need understanding, and you'll see what I'm doing. There is no rush, and just take your time, and then let's go on to step 3 then, I guess. So now as you have made it to step 3, here is what you need to do, and here's what you will probably notice. In step 3, instead of jumping into one hand, into your right or left hand, whatever side you're more comfortable with, we are using both hands. We're still going over the shoulder that you're comfortable with, so if I'm comfortable with going over my left and you're comfortable with going over your right, you're still going over your right or your left, whatever side's more comfortable for you, but instead you're using 2 hands. So when you're jumping into it, you'll see my hands be more like this. The reason for that is because you've gotten so used to jumping into the Makaku, you're starting to be able to figure out how to use your right hand, or being able to use your right hand. And this is again where you need padding, because again, the compact can still be hard on your wrist, just as you will probably see me doing this in the video, because, well, I hurt my wrist. As you can see, when I jump over, my left hand still touches, but my right hand comes there for support, so not all the compact can just be on my left hand. So if you're comfortable going over your right hand should be the first one to touch, but your left hand will come there right after, like a split second after, for support for your body, and so nothing can happen badly. This is where you need padding for you to not hurt your wrists or your feet. But if you continue doing this over and over again, and you will get used to it, so do not worry. Now let's head on to step 4. Let's go. We made it to step 4, and now as you are comfortable going over your shoulder, now you can start straightening yourself out. This time, instead of your left hand touching the grass first, your both hands are going to be touching at the same time. You're going over your back fully, and you know what? There's no rush. You can continue if you need it, go over your side, whatever you need. But this is for people who are comfortable in step 4. You're going back over fully, and you're still doing the same thing, same motion, everything. It's just you're going over your head now, which is a big step and which is scary at first, but you continue doing it with padding. I guarantee you got this. Now as we are in step 4, there is not much to add at all. The only difference is we are finally going over our head fully. We're not going over our shoulders, your right shoulder, your left shoulder. We're not doing that. We are going over our heads perfectly. And both your right hand and your left hand will be touching the ground at the same time. Again, need padding for compact and for your wrists, because trust me, it will hurt later on if you don't do that. And it's also for safety reasons as well. And now as we are in step 5 and almost the final step, I think, this is the second last step, but this is the step that's big, and this will help you a lot. And this is where you start to bring in your legs for the whole tucking situation. So when I am doing the back handspring, you'll see me driving my legs in as I would be tucking, but I'm still keeping my hands in the air as they would be for the back handspring. I'm still doing the same motion. The only difference is I'm starting to bring in my legs slowly, and as I would in a normal back flip, as you will see. This is step 5, and see, as you can see, this step is where you fully bring in your legs when you back handspring. The only thing is you keep your arms in the same position, you just bring in your legs slowly and slowly. And once you're able to do this, you'll start to catch on the motion that you need in order to do a full-on rotation for the backflip. You can take your time when doing this, there's no rush, because in my opinion, this is probably the scariest one to commit from, because you're actually doing a big step in bringing in your legs. But when you do this over and over again, you'll start to get this motion, and I promise you, you will do this. All you gotta do is bring in your legs as you back handspring. Now you are ready to do a backflip flat. You've gotten comfortable doing all these other steps, and now you are ready. When you're doing a backflip flat, there's one thing you gotta do. Get used to the jumping and grabbing your legs. Now when you're jumping, you want to bend your legs and sit down, like pretend you're sitting down like an invisible chair. And as you take off, you want to be explosive on the jump. So when you jump up, you lift up your arms all the way up past your ears or around your ears, and then you bring in your legs at a 90-degree angle. Of course, there's not much, don't think too much about it, because it will happen automatically, so you don't need to think about it. So when you see I am explosive, I jump, and I jump perfectly up in the air, and I'm doing a simple backflip. You can do overtuck or undertuck, which is grabbing under your legs, as you saw right there, which a lot of people do, but I prefer overtuck because it feels more comfortable in my opinion. If you are confused, what you do is you squat down, pretend you're sitting in a chair, and you jump up as explosively as possible, and you tuck at a 90-degree angle, as you see in this video. Would you look at that? You could finally backflip flat. Hopefully, if this tutorial was helpful at all. And if it was, and you are able to backflip flat or backflip on trampoline, because you can do the same thing, use the same tips. I told you how to backflip flat on the trampoline. Trampoline, in my opinion, is easier because you don't really need to get padding. You can just do it on the thing. But, all in all, I hope you guys learned how to backflip flat, and if you did, you can show off all the flips now. You can show off and say, look, I can backflip flat to your friends and all you want. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video and if you found this helpful and you want any more tips and tricks to how to do a certain flip, comment down below what you want to see next, and have a great day. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see next. I love you all and hope you had an amazing, blessed day. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you next time when I make another video. Peace out. Subscribe.